In a small town nestled between rolling hills and vast forests lived a young woman named Eliza. From an early age, Eliza had a knack for painting. Her fingers seemed born to blend color, and her imagination brought life to the blankest of canvases. But as she grew older, she found herself surrounded by other artists, each with their own style, their own followers, and their own stories. Soon, the joy she once felt began to wane, replaced by a persistent echo of self-doubt. Every morning, Eliza scrolled through social media, watching as others showcased their masterpieces and received praise. Their brushstrokes looked smoother, their ideas more profound. She began to wonder if she was truly talented, or if she was merely a shadow among brighter stars. Her paintings grew hesitant, her lines shaky, and her colors subdued. She told herself she wasn't good enough, that she would never measure up to the artist she admired. One rainy afternoon, as Eliza wandered through the local art gallery, she paused before a painting that radiated warmth, a simple landscape, vibrant and unpretentious. The elderly curator noticed her lingering and approached with a gentle smile. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said. The artist painted this with joy, not with the intention of comparison. Eliza nodded, confessing her own struggles. She spoke of the fear of not being good enough, the constant urge to compare herself to others, and the paralyzing pressure to be perfect. The curator listened patiently and then shared a story. Years ago, he himself had been a young sculptor, desperate to keep up with his peers. He spent months mimicking their techniques, chasing trends, and striving for recognition. But the more he compared, the more disconnected he felt from his own creativity. It wasn't until he abandoned comparison that his work truly flourished. "You see," he said softly, "the only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday." Eliza left the gallery with those words echoing in her mind. She returned home, sat before her canvas, and resolved to paint for herself, not for likes, not for awards, not for anyone else's approval. With each brushstroke, she poured out her own thoughts, memories, and dreams. Her style shifted, becoming bolder and more expressive. The colors she chose reflected her moods, and the subjects she painted told her story. For the first time in years, she felt free. As weeks turned to months, Eliza's paintings began to attract attention. People saw something authentic in her work, a sense of vulnerability and honesty that resonated deeply. They didn't care how her art compared to others. They cared about the feeling it evoked. Eliza realized that by embracing her uniqueness, she'd found her true voice. The lesson was profound. Comparing ourselves to others steals the joy from our achievements. It blinds us to our own growth and potential. Each person's journey is uniquely shaped by their experiences, their struggles, and their triumphs. The only true measure of progress is how far we've come from where we started. When we let go of comparison, we open ourselves to possibility, creativity, and self-acceptance. Eliza's story reminds us that our value is not determined by the standards set by others. It is defined by the courage to follow our passions, the dedication to improve ourselves, and the willingness to celebrate our own milestones. Life is not a race, nor is it a competition. It is a journey best traveled by embracing who we are, appreciating our growth, and forging our own path. So the next time you find yourself comparing your journey to someone else's, remember Eliza. Pause, take a breath, and focus on the progress you've made. Celebrate your strengths, honor your efforts, and trust that your story holds its own unique beauty.